Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing okay, and I hope people are having a good trading day, despite some of the hiccups that might be occurring. So I know it's been kind of bumpy, but it's also good to maybe take a step back and maybe just go over some recent history just to see like how bad things could potentially get, and then maybe potentially hedge, or maybe like just like make plans for in the future. Maybe you have to just like get rid of something that's going below your expectation. So I pulled up like some stats from 2022 for certain stocks. Most of these are have like a yield max equivalent. Like, so for example, Airbnb has APNY, and but then like more popular stocks such as Amazon might have AMZY, but it might also have like a corresponding, maybe like a curve invest. And I know like some of the other ETF issuers such as Direction, they might have like single name, like double longs and double shorts and those kind of stuff. So that might be helpful too. So I want to draw your attention primarily to the column that says price change, because I think that'll be most relevant for most people. So I'm going to maybe start from the top and then start from like the left hand side all the way to the right. As I said, I think the price change just on like the underlying stock might be the most helpful, just to help guide your planning. Now, this is not a guarantee. This is just what happened in the past. It might offer like a kind of like a guardrail, just in case you're nervous about like a stock or an ETF that might go below like a certain threshold. So this might be helpful. So in the first column, this is just like the yield max ETF equivalent, and next to it is like the actual stock, and then the price, the high and low for the actual stock and not the ETF. And then I also wanted to just show like the price change of what happened in 2022 for the actual stock. Now here on for 2000, the next set of columns, like the historical volatility, the high, low, and the historical volatility change. This you really have to take with a grain of salt, because I'm just making like a kind of like a what if scenario of what would happen if you happen to sell at the high, near the like the sell the volatility at the high, and then maybe buy it back at the low. Now these are very optimistic numbers, and sorry about any loud background noises. Like, this pretty obnoxious. And then the erosion estimate is just like a combination of like the price change and the historical volatility change. Again, you can actually feel free to ignore the erosion estimate. That's why I highlighted kind of like in this peach color, because that's kind of like me just creating like scenarios. So you don't have to take the erosion estimate column as seriously. But I think it's good to see like what happened in the past. So, like for example, Airbnb, it went down like actually a little bit more than half, and then like the AI stock went down by almost 2/3. Same thing with AMD, and then if we go down, Amazon took like almost like half off. Even like a steady stock like Apple, almost like a third off. Same thing with BABO, almost a third off. Coinbase, actually almost went down like almost 90%. Like that was a like almost a disaster for most people. Disney went down almost 50%. Meta went down almost 75%. GDX went down almost 50%. Google went down 45%. And oops, this is a typo. Obviously, this is JP Morgan. Even JP Morgan went down like 40%, so that's pretty scary. Moderna went down 53%. Microsoft went down 37%. Let me make sure everything's in focus. So I'm gonna scroll down some more. As you can see, like MicroStrategy went down over 75%. Netflix went down almost 75%. Nvidia, at the time, almost 65%, and then ARK went down 70%. PayPal went down 66%. SNOY went down 67, almost 68%. Square went down 69%. Tesla took a whopping 73% decline. TSM went down like almost 40%. And then just to kind of break things up, ExxonMobil, one of the few winners at 87%. You have to remember 2022 was like a big rebound in the energy sector in general. And then you have like the actual Bitcoin, roughly 70% decline. The triple, even like the broad-based indices took a big hit. Triple Q went down 37%. SPY went down 27%. IWM went down 28%. And then USO actually went up almost 71%. And then the thing to notice about the Triple Q, SPY, and IWM, the reason why I left like these ETF out, because like there's so many ETFs that are kind of based on that. So like I figured you can just like use your head and for example, you can think of what could potentially happen to, let's say you have triple QT, or let's say QDDE, or what are some of the other ones like QYLD, etc. So you can kind of like use these as like a rough guideline as to what could happen. And again, let's just go over like the erosion estimate real quick. As you can see, some of these look kind of wacky. So I did this just to kind of see like what could potentially happen to some covered call ETFs. Now, obviously, some are better managed than others. So again, feel free to ignore this, but it's just like what could potentially happen if you have a really. This is like the ideal manager scenario where you can monetize like the covered calls or like the cash secured puts to see if they actually do everything correctly, and they get or like they get extremely lucky. So like for the, let's say you're doing like option selling on Airbnb, you can actually knock down like the loss almost back to like break even, and then in some cases like AI could like potentially get like a 7% profit. But again, this is more of like an ideal scenario for the erosion estimate. AMD, you could have knocked down like the loss from like 64% down to 20%, and then so on and so forth. So rather than go through each and every one, I'm just gonna scroll down slowly so you can see like the corresponding like the perfect scenario if your covered call ETF manager and assumes no tourist erosion, etc. Where like an ideal scenario, you actually might be able to make some like a little bit of money, assuming everything goes well. But again, in real life, that doesn't, that rarely happens. So in fact, like Coinbase, even if you have like a loss on underlying, like you could have potentially sold enough premium to actually wind up with like a pretty substantial profit. But again, this is a very idealized scenario. Most of these are kind of in the realm of possibility, and then some of these are like a little bit more realistic. You're able to chop down your loss substantially. So again, I'm just going to scroll down slowly so you can kind of see like if you happen to have an ETF that's based off of any of these stocks over here. So just go scroll down slowly. So again, like some of these look pretty ridiculous. Like, so you took like a 77% loss on MSTR all the way to 70% gain if you're able to sell enough premium and it works out in your favor. Same thing for Netflix, and then most of these other guys are able to chop down the loss substantially, and some like grab a little bit of profit. So hopefully this might be helpful for some people, in case you're wondering if you can kind of hedge this off, and maybe if you want to take matters to your own hands, maybe you want to try to sell some premium on the underlying itself, just to see, just to kind of test your own skills and maybe management abilities. So thank you for watching. I hope people could like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.